game, laughing and a running, hey, hey, skipping and a jumping in the misty morning fog with our hearts that thumping and you, my brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl. And whatever happened to Tuesday and so slow, gone down the old man with a transistor radio, standing in the sunlight laughing, hiding behind a rainbow's wall, slipping and sliding all along the waterfall with you, my brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, just like that. Sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la. So hard to find my way now that I'm all on my own. I saw you just the other day. My, you have grown. Cast my memory back there, Lord. Sometimes I'm overcome thinking about making love in the green grass behind the stadium with you, my brown-eyed girl. You, my brown-eyed girl. Do you remember when we used to sing sha-la-la-la-la-la-la-la in the green grass?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, my name's Patrick. I'm the celebrant for today's service. I'd like to welcome you all along here, especially Jim and the boys, and a special welcome to Lee and Ashley who are watching in Australia just now. Today's going to be a difficult afternoon in many ways for all of you. And see if you feel like having a wee greet, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. We have loved somebody so much. But just sit and talk with the family on Saturday. I'm sure so many of you get so many happy, funny and warm memories of Jackie. And I would urge you this afternoon while you're sitting here in a funeral parlour to close your eyes, forget where you are and think about Jackie. Think about her and why you're here today. Why you felt compelled to come along today and show your love, your respect, your affection for her. Think about why she was such a special woman that you thought her to be. Think about why today we're using the word of celebration when we talk about her life. The one thread that ran right through Jackie's family, Jackie's life, was family. Her love of family, her love for Jim and her love for the boys. And that's such a wonderful legacy for anyone, that someone appreciated what mattered in life, what really was important. And for Jackie, it was always, always Jim and the family. I'm going to try and pay a wee tribute to her this afternoon, but it's not really possible for me to do it. I don't have enough words or enough time, but you can do that today through your memories. Each of you will have known Jackie in your own way, spent time with her, shared special moments with her, shared wee laughs, wee jokes, wee bits of fun, wee bits of banter. And there have been times when she'd have been your friend, come to your aid and given you help. Think about those this afternoon and think about the wonderful way that Jackie took the gift of life and shared it so well with her family. Good afternoon formally, and I'd like to welcome you all to our service as we gather here as family, friends and as a community to say farewell to Jackie, to pay our respects and of course express the love and affection that we will always feel for her in our hearts. Also in our thoughts this afternoon are Lee and Ashley, who cannot be here in person, but we know that we are united with them in sharing the pain and sadness that we all feel at losing such a caring and loving woman. Jackie has left us all with a wonderful legacy, one that is of love for family. She was a woman who really understood what mattered in life, and for her, Jim, Gary, Lee and Darren were the most precious thing in her life. Jim and the boys are really grateful for all the support and all the messages of sympathy and condolence that they have received at this really difficult time. And they take a great deal of comfort from the fact that Jackie had such a positive impact on the lives of so many people. Today we reflect on the wonderful way that Jackie used her gift of life. She lived a life that was truly rich in love, and there is so much in her life that is worthy of remembrance and celebration. The use of the word celebration can sometimes be difficult for some people to use at a funeral. But today we celebrate all the wonderful memories that we have of Jackie in our hearts. Each of these is a unique gift from her and something that we should always cherish. Today we celebrate all the times when Jackie would make us smile, the times she made us laugh, the times when she would make us feel safe, loved and protected, the times when we knew that as a family Jackie would always look out for us, and of course Gary, Lee and Darren, the times when you felt that you quite simply had the best mum in the world. And of course Jim, we celebrate the wonderful love story that you and Jackie shared. You shared a love that would last her lifetime, as well as building your own family. You shared so many special moments, and Jackie truly was the love of your life and your soulmate. There were two threads that ran through Jackie's life. One was her love of family. The other was her wonderful generosity of spirit that would see her share a great deal of kindness throughout her life, and also her wonderful ability to communicate and care for children. She really did have a big heart. Jacqueline Bell was born on Tuesday the 17th of March in 1959 at the family home in Ross Street in Coatbridge. She was born to her dad John and her mum Ina, and she was loved and cherished from the minute she was born. Dad John worked in the gas industry and also as a postman, and together with mum Ina, who was a cleaning supervisor, they worked hard to give their family the best possible start in life they could. The family home was a busy place that Jackie shared with her older sister Kathy and her two wee brothers John and Robert. And as a family they always got on well together and had that wonderful knowledge and security of knowing that they could count on each other whenever they were in need. Perhaps it was growing up in such a family where she would have seen her mum and dad make sacrifices so that their children could get on in life that helped to make Jackie the much loved and respected family woman that you all knew her to be. Jackie was schooled locally at Gartsherry Primary and then at Rose Hall High. To be honest, she wasn't a big fan of school. Some of her pals went to different schools, so she wasn't able to mix and enjoy their company. And from a very early age, Jackie always understood the value of real friendship. But to be honest, I don't think there's any school in the land or any teacher that could have taught Jackie the life skills that made her the woman she was. These were instinctive and these were natural. She was a caring woman. She had a strong work ethic. She understood her responsibilities in life, and she would always back her family 100%, and she never ever wavered in that. Jackie had a happy childhood. Her family life was stable, and she was a very active young person, and she would enjoy great times playing badminton as well as taking part in the roller discos at the YWCA in Coatbridge, where she had lots of laughs and lots of funs. On leaving school, Jackie started her working life at Mickey's shoe shop in Coatbridge Main Street. She used this wee job to make sure that all her pals had good, fashionable footwear. They would often come in and try a nice pair of shoes on that looked really good, and the old pair would somehow end up in the shoebox back on the shelf. Jackie looked after her pals. There was also a wee spell working at Templeton's in the Blair Grove shopping centre on the meat counter, and she was very generous with the portions of meat she served up, in particular to the pensioners. She really did look after her own, often giving Jim's mum a wee special serving to make sure that her man was well fed. One of Jackie's favourite jobs was at Kirkshaw's Primary, where she worked as a dinner lady. She was absolutely in her element, being surrounded by all those children. It was a really happy place for her, and she also worked alongside pals like Kay, with whom she shared a wonderful friendship. Jackie also worked as a carer, a job that suited her nature. She was a natural, and she has always been all her life, quite simply a people person. Work was important to Jackie, but it's far from being the biggest story in her life. That is the love story that she and Jim shared together, and the wonderful family that they built. That story began one night when Jim went along to the Shark's Mouth for a wee drink. Also there that night was Jackie, and the rest, as they say, is history. Jim chatted to Jackie, and he was quite taken by her quite quickly. To be honest, she wasn't that convinced, but they then went on a date to Taggart's Disco. There was a wee blip on one occasion during their courtship when Jim went to the front door to meet her mum Ina and couldn't remember Jackie's name. But like everything else in life, they coped with this and moved on. And it wasn't too long before they realised they shared something really special. And soon Jim would ask the big question. He would ask Jackie to marry him, and she said yes. And so on the 4th of September in 1980, they took their wedding vows at Coatbridge Registry Office. The truth is that they took their wedding vows that day with a great deal of sincerity and a real commitment to each other. For richer or poorer, in sickness and in health, they would go on to spend more than 41 years together, and all that was built on the foundation of love that they had for each other. After the wedding, they shared a special family meal in the Georgian Hotel to celebrate their day, before going back to Jackie's parents' home to start their new life together. 6 months later, they would move into their first home of their own in Newton Street, and they then went on to share a wonderful marriage. Jim and Jackie supported and inspired each other. They laughed together and they cried together. And as a couple, they dealt with all the ups and downs that life would throw their way. They always enjoyed each other's company, and from here they would go on to build their own wee family. Gary, Lee and Darren, you are the wonderful legacy of the love that your mum and dad shared. You bear testimony to their love and commitment for family. You were all brought up in a safe, happy and loving home, and you will all know that your mum would have done anything for you, and she would never ever let anyone cause you any harm. Gary, Lee and Dan, you will all have your own special memories of the times and moments you shared with your mum. She knew you all so well, but she also set boundaries, and you knew what these boundaries were. And each of you will know how precious you were to your mum. The wonderful love, respect and affection that you had for your mum will never fade, and her warmth and her generosity of spirit will always be a part of your family. Jackie really was a strong woman. She would fight for her family. At the same time, the boys told me with them, all it took was one of those looks from her to bring them into line. There were many wonderful family trips to Scarborough, and of course, every Christmas, the magnificent Christmas tree that looked so magic and added to the occasion, and had her friends wishing that Jackie had dressed their tree. Jackie also had a wee sense of adventure and enjoyed wonderful holidays in places such as Ireland, Benidorm, and the wonderful resort of Murcia, where she visited many times. But there was one holiday above all others that made Jackie so happy and so proud. When Lee and Ashley married in Mexico, it was a wonderful spectacle and occasion for the entire family. Such an exotic setting, thousands of miles from home, and yet quite simply, it was all about family. Jackie was so content and so happy that Lee and Ashley, who were childhood sweethearts, were being married. And what made the mother and father of the groom so happy was the fact that brothers Gary and Darren were best men. Lee and Ashley, I'm sure you will both know that your special day gave your mum so much happiness, joy and contentment, and that Gary and Darren, being best men, gave her so much pride and satisfaction. For Jackie, you, her family, were everything. As we say farewell to Jackie today, we reflect on her qualities. She was the mum of the street, caring for others, and always ready to step in and step up to the plate. She was a woman who appreciated friendship and pals, and people like Kay were so important. Their friendship was so true. Jackie was a woman who liked to do things her way. The milk was always put in the cup first before the tea. And if you didn't do that, she knew. The house was always spotless and pristine. She enjoyed her TV shows like Outlander, The Greatest Showman, Vera, and other detective series. But ultimately, she loved nothing more in this life than being with her family. Maybe with the exception of wee Oscar and Bailey, her wee dogs that she loved so much and gave her so much happiness. Nephews Barry, Ryan, Daniel, John, David and Michael and Mark, you will all know how happy Jackie was just being your aunt. You will all know how special you were to her. And Madison, as the firstborn niece, you will know that you were the special one. You were the only one to get your photo on her wall in the house. But boy, she did love you as well. In fact, she loved all of you, and you will all know that. Jackie was a strong and independent woman. She was a woman of substance, yet she was so full of love. Gary, Lee and Darren, no one will ever be able to express how much love your mum had for each of you, and you will know that, and I'm sure you can feel it in your hearts. Jim, you were the love of Jackie's life. You were her soulmate, and the love you have for her in your heart will never fade. Jackie was a woman who did everything she could to make the world a better place for her family. It was always all about you. Rest in peace, Jackie. Rest in peace. We're now going to listen to a piece of music, and I would ask you to close your eyes and think about Jackie. Maybe you were one of those lucky people that got a pair of shoes out the shoe shop. Maybe your kids went to the Kirkshaw's Primary and seen this wonderful dinner lady looking after the children. Maybe you were a colleague at work. Maybe you were a neighbour. Maybe you were family. But just think about her and all that she gave throughout her life. She really did make a difference to many lives.
You sheltered me from harm, kept me warm, kept me warm. You gave my life to me, set me free, set me free. The finest years I ever knew. I had with you, and I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again. You taught me to laugh, what it's up. You never said too much, but still you showed the way, and I knew from watching you. Is there someone you know, you're loving them so, but taking them all for granted? You may lose them one day, someone takes them away, and they don't hear the words you long to say. I would give anything I own, give up my life, my heart, my home. I would give everything I own just to have you back again, just to touch you once again.
I'd like to share a couple of wee readings with you. Weep not for me, though I am gone into the gentle night. Grieve, if you will, but not for long upon my soul's sweet flight. There is no need for tears, I am at peace, my soul is at rest. There is no pain, I suffer not, for with your love I was so blessed. I am in a place of comfort, the fear has gone. Put these things out of your thoughts, in your memory let me live on. Remember not my fight for breath, remember not the strife. Please do not dwell upon my death, but please celebrate my life. Remember me. To the living I am gone, to the sorrowful I will never return, to the angry I was cheated, but to the happy I am at peace, and to the faithful I have never left. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. As you stand upon a shore gazing at a beautiful sea, remember me. As you look in awe at a mighty forest with all its splendour and majesty, remember me. As you look upon a flower and admire its beauty and its simplicity, remember me. Remember me in your heart, your thoughts and your memories of all those times we loved, the times we cried, the times we fought, and all those wonderful times when we laughed. For if you always think of me, I will never be gone. Could I ask you once again just to close your eyes and have a wee thought about the things that matter in life, about love and about family, and how important those were to Jackie. Don't cry for me in sadness, don't weep for me in sorrow, for I will live on beside you as sure comes tomorrow. My body has gone, but my spirit lives on, as does my love for you. Just as in life I'll watch over you, I always will be true. My blood lives on in my children, and how I watch them grow with pride, and I will live on within them always by their side. Reach out if you need me, for I will always be near. Talk to me as if I'm there, I promise I will hear. For I will live on within your mind and will never be apart, as long as you keep my memory deep within your heart. So lift up your hearts, don't be sad, my spirit hasn't gone. While you're still here, so am I really will live on. We're going to conclude this part of the service with some music chosen by the family, and from here we will proceed to Coatbridge Cemetery. Could I ask if your car's in the car park, if you could move it immediately after the service, please? I want to, on behalf of Jim and the boys, thank you all for being here, for all the support and all the care and love you've shown to them, and remind you that doesn't end today. The next weeks and months will be difficult for the family. So thank you all for being here, and we'll now finish this part of the service with some music.
It must have been cold content to let me shine.